Alrighty, friendos, welcome in. So I thought for today's video, I would go ahead and do a official zero sanity, zero evidence guide. I've done a no evidence guide before, but I believe in that guide I had 100% sanity and we had the access to the monitors and stuff. But I've never actually done like an official, this is what I do during a zero sanity, zero evidence run. So if you're wanting to do the same kind of difficulty, but you're like, how should I go about doing all these tests? I'm going to show you the most efficient way, at least the way that I do it. So let me show you really quick what I recommend bringing to figure out the ghost. You want to make sure you have a video camera to test for a mimic, strong flashlight to see, cameras to take pictures of like the salt, maybe a picture of the ghost to see if it is a phantom, crucifixes to do an on-reo test, and candles, lighter, smudge stick, salt, paramic for banshee test, and really everything else you see is probably just gonna be for objectives. Like I just bring the motion sensor just if I happen to get the motion sensor objective. But today we are just trying to figure out the ghosts, so I'm not going to do any extra objectives. But I always go in with a flashlight, a smudge stick, and a lighter. And let's talk about really quick the tests I'm going to try to do with this first hunt, because we should be able to knock off a lot of ghosts with this first hunt. And we are going to play in Tanglewood because this is one of the best maps to do like zero sanity, zero evidence in my opinion. Like there's the garage is the best spot to do so many of these tests. But when we go inside, my first objective is to try to get the breaker on before the ghost hunts. It doesn't always happen, but hopefully we do. And in that case, we'll go in the garage and we'll try to do a gin test. We're also going to try to get a visual and see if it's a phantom or an oni. We're going to listen to the speed, see if it's any of the fast ghosts. And we should also be able to do a yokai test through the garage door. So that's what we're going to achieve. Also make sure when you're doing these that you have a timer nearby, if it's on your phone, on your computer, whatever, because you want to be able to set a timer for this much. So let's go ahead and hop inside. I always grab this because in case the ghost sets off the car alarm, I don't want to be sitting there dealing with that. Okay, it's already ghost eventing out there, and it looks like we got really lucky with the breaker being in here. So I'm going to shut this door, shut the door so that we can do yokai test, and we don't have a hiding spot in here, which is fine because you could actually use the car to break LOS. So we're going to do that. So we're going to sit here. We're going to try to track the ghost with our flashlight and our voice to see if it's a yokai or not. Whenever the ghost comes inside, we're going to see if it's a djinn, if it increases its speed as soon as it sees us. Otherwise, if we hear that it's a certain speed, like maybe super fast, super slow, etc., we'll do tests, further tests from there. So now we just got to kind of wait for this bad boy to hunt. It did? Okay, here we go. It's hunting. Okay, not on my line because my flashlight, I can hear it before my flashlight starts blinking. Hey, Ghosty! Come here. It sounds like going into the basement. Here, Ghosty! Ghosty! Ghosty, Ghosty. Ghosty, Ghosty, Ghosty. Yoo-hoo! Yoo-hoo! Might just be, okay. Yoo-hoo! Here we go. Ghosty? Okay, not a yokai. Also not a... Oh, potential. It actually might be a djinn. You see how it like got faster whenever it saw us? Let's go and do another djinn test. But from that was kind of a not a very great first run because it seemed like a yokai because it didn't hear us, but in actuality it just wasn't in range to be attracted as a normal ghost would be. So this hunt we're just gonna try to do another djinn test because I noticed that there was like a significant speed difference whenever it first saw us. But we can actually knock off a lot of ghosts, right? Because it wasn't super fast, just generally without LOS. We know it's not a Moroi. We know it's not a Dio because it wasn't super fast and then slowed down when it got to us. Not a Hantu because it had like a significant speed increase when it came in here. It wasn't like fast near its room where it's probably colder. It wasn't a Revenant because it wasn't slow. And then extra fast when it saw us because Revenants are very, very slow when they don't have LOS with you. Not twins because it was normal speed, not Fae because it was normal speed, except for when it saw us. I mean, it could be a Raiju and it got fast because it got close to our flashlight, which we'll have to test farther. Oh, it's hunting like in here with us, which is not great. Okay, let's try to do a djinn test, maybe on this side of the van. Yeah, so that's a djinn. You see how great this van is for doing, like looping the ghost because it's so tall that it doesn't get LOS with you. And as long as you keep track of which side it's going to. Wow, it is like throwing things like crazy though. You can like lose track of it. I'll go ahead, we know this ghost is a djinn. We'll go ahead and do all the other tests though, just so I can show you in case it's not a djinn. So ideally like the first hunt you'll want to have smudged That way, you can set a smudge timer, which we will do next hunt. We'll go ahead and smudge it. And we'll set a timer. The timer that I have on the screen, that'll be for the smudge. You're looking for if the ghost hunts under 90 seconds or after 3 minutes, because the demon can hunt you in under 90 seconds after you smudge it, and then a spirit can hunt you after 3 minutes of smudging it. So let's just wait for this bad boy to hunt again. We'll pretend like we don't know what ghost it is, right? Just for the sake of doing tests. So we got lucky this time and we were able to, like, so sometimes that's what the beauty of this difficulty is, that you can figure out first hunt that what kind of ghost it is. So we already know it's a djinn. Because it got super speedy. My flashlight wasn't on, so it's not affected by any equipment. It's hunting in here again. Okay. We're gonna go and smudge it. Maybe I need to get LOS with me. We're gonna smudge it. We wait until the smudge stops burning, and then we start our timer. And then we also, like, while you're bringing the ghost into this room, you want to get a visual on it and pay attention to its blinks. Like, does it have very long blinks? Could it be a phantom? Is it mostly visible while it's blinking? Then it could be an Oni. So now we have a smudge timer going. I think this garage might be its ghost room. I mean, it spawned in here twice, right? So we'll set up as if this is its ghost room. So normally after I smudge, after the first one, if I haven't figured out what kind of ghost it is, I'll go out to the van and I will get salt to test for a wraith, and then a candle and a crucifix to test for an Onryo. I purposefully didn't throw all my stuff inside like I normally do on these games because I wanted it to be a little bit more realistic, because sometimes throwing all your stuff inside the house before you play is a little tedious and annoying. So I didn't do that this time. Because I wanted this to be as if, you know, you're just actually, you know, playing the game and not me trying to be a little bit extra prepared before I start recording. So ideally, crucifixes, you want to make sure they're kind of covering the whole range of the room, right? So they have about a 3-meter range. So we have one crucifix here. I will need to go get another crucifix. So that's not going to protect us completely. Like, there's still a range over here where the ghost could choose to hunt. I'm actually going to go ahead and stay inside the house now because I want to keep an eye on that timer and see if the ghost is going to hunt me soon, if it could be a demon. So yeah, we want to stay in here to see, 1, if it uses the crucifix, or 2, if it hunts us. It did step on the salt, so we want to take a picture of that footstep to see if it's a wraith. Even though, like, again, I said, we already know it's a djinn, but we're going to pretend like we don't know what ghost it is. So I'm going to pay attention to this crucifix to see when it hunts again. It did blow out the candle, which in normal circumstances you would be like, does that mean it's an Onryo? So it's also been over 90 seconds since it hunted, so we can probably cross out demon, right? Also, we can cross out yokai because it found us very easily in the garage earlier. We can also cross off myling because we heard it before our flashlight started flickering. Sorry, I'm trying to... Okay. Alright, we just got an air ball event, so we can roll out Oni, right? Onis are the only ghost that's not able to do that. Probably not a shade because it hunted in the same room as us, right? It also hasn't used a crucifix yet, which is a little strange for a djinn. Like, it also hasn't tried to hunt us. It's just stepping in all the salt piles is what it's doing. So that's just a ghost event. You saw how it touched the door before it started doing that? Can you get off me? Thank you. Also another tell that's probably not a shade because it ghost evented like that in the same room as us. We technically can't rule out phantom, hypothetically, because we haven't gotten a really good look at it yet. Can't rule out Onryo because it hasn't used a crucifix, but we can rule out Raiju, right? Because it got close to our flashlight and wasn't super duper speedy. That's one of the best ways to tell, is whenever you first bring the ghost in here, does it get particularly faster when it gets closer to you? You're flickering that light, that's cute. Okay, so this ghost is now acting like a spirit because it hasn't hunted for 3 minutes. I don't know why it's not hunting me yet. It's kind of weird. Which is another good thing to keep in mind. If the ghost is all of a sudden acting like a lot different than the ghost type you think it is, could it potentially be a mimic? Now, I don't think this one is a mimic because it's been a djinn a couple hunts now, but we'll keep that in mind for later dates, for later tests. Like, if it doesn't seem like a djinn this next hunt, if it's like a deal, then we'll check for orbs to see if it's a mimic. But I'm gonna stay inside the house until it hunts again. Let's see, we can't. Well, we know it's a djinn, but if the ghost did not speed up when it got line of sight with you when it comes through the door, then it's probably not a djinn. Let's see. I'm gonna use this crucifix. Where's it hunting from? Okay, so it hunted it outside the crucifix range. We're going to stop that timer. That was 4 minutes. So in this instance, you would definitely want to question whether or not this is a spirit. So you would probably want to try to smudge it again and set another timer. Which I can't actually tell if this ghost is still being a djinn. I'd rather do a djinn test with another smudge stick. So after this hunt, we'll go outside and get some more equipment. Because we still need to do a proper Onryo test. And I may move this crucifix too to try to protect that corner. Yeah, if you're ever frustrated because it seems like your crucifix isn't working, keep in mind it's a 3-meter range, right? You can actually put the crucifix on the car as well and it'll protect. Well, okay, you can. I promise you can. And it will protect you. So let's put this here. Wait, where did my... Oh, my lighter's right here. Okay. Go and light that. We're going to drop all our things so we can grab more equipment. We'll go and reset this timer. Or at least try to. Alright. Ghost has followed me. Hello. So we want to get another crucifix and a candle to properly set up our Onryo test. And then get a camera to take a picture of that salt pile. So this. We gotta be careful it doesn't hunt me as soon as I go inside too. Because it just did a ghost event right there. So there's a chance it could try to hunt from that spot. So what I might do is I'm gonna speed in. Okay, I was gonna hide in this closet if it tried to hunt. But it hasn't tried to hunt yet. We're good. Okay, we made it to the safe zone. It did blow out this candle. Interesting, right? We'll go and take a picture of that. And you see it says footsteps, so we know it's not a wraith. Let's go ahead and take this and this. We'll put this. Having this van in here makes this a little difficult. Maybe right here. Okay, another air ball. Just double confirming that it's not an Oni. Oh, I didn't grab a smudge, did I? Make sure it hasn't used a crucifix yet. It's not used a crucifix. Let's go grab another smudge. Maybe the video camera so we can double check for orbs. And we'll see. I mean, I'm pretty sure this thing is still a djinn, but like I said, we're gonna do all of these tests as if we don't know what kind of ghost it is. So we want this. I guess we could technically also do a myling test, which we're not gonna be able to. You can do a myling test with your flashlight, but sometimes dots is a little bit easier. And then we want another smudge stick, right? Okay, let's hope we don't get hunted as soon as we walk through the front door in the foyer. So we're gonna try to run to this closet just in case. Okay, so far so good. Have you used a crucifix? See, that's why I brought the car key, because I don't want to get caught in that situation where it's just blaring the car alarm. All right. So we're gonna check for orbs. It did blow out this. Okay. Well, that's tough because it actually. I didn't see if it used the crucifix first or if it blew out the candle first. So we're gonna. Okay. So how you see how I just used this crucifix on top of the candle? So that means we can knock out Onryo. I haven't seen orbs a couple times that I've checked. So I don't think it's a mimic. Understandable. Because this ghost is spawning in this room, what we might do is try to do a djinn test in a different room or a different area. And we'll also try to do a... Wait, no, we actually did a myling test, didn't we? That's right. Sorry, I'm dumb. Well, we can't hide there. That's interesting. Yeah, we did a myling test at the beginning, didn't we? You're not hunting yet. Okay. You bamboozled me. This will be another good chance for us to get a visual over here. And then for... okay, you're hunting right there. Okay, we can do a djinn test over here. Oh, that was just a... Okay. That was a light-breaking ghost event. Mares are typically more likely to do that, but that doesn't always mean that it's a mare. Like we said, we believe that this ghost is going to be a djinn, so don't always let a light-breaking ghost event make you think that it's a djinn, or that it's a mare. It could just be bamboozling you. Okay, so you see how it's still getting fast when it gets line of sight with us? Okay, we're going to wait till the smudge stops burning, and we will start our timer up again. Okay, let's see if there's any other ghosts we can knock off. So we technically can't knock off Spirit because it did take 4 minutes to hunt, right? But we got a pretty good visual right there, and it didn't seem to have very long blinks, so it's probably not a phantom. I'm going to go ahead and just briefly touch on Goryo and Obake. There's no way to tell if it's a Goryo or Obake on zero evidence. You just kind of have to eliminate every other ghost and be like, okay, it's going to be one of these. I'm just going to go ahead and guess. Okay, so I did break this light. Whenever you're trying to test for a mare, you want to go to the ghost room and flick the light on especially after hunts, and see if it immediately turns the light off without there being a ghost event. Like ghost events, any ghost can turn the light off when it's ghost eventing, but a mare, sometimes when you turn the light on, it has like a 50% chance of immediately turning it off. But you can't sit here and do this either. Like it has to be kind of like a natural boom. Is my camera in here? No, I tried so hard to get that picture. Dang. That would be a good way to test for a phantom, by the way. If you take a picture and it disappears and continues to event. So hopefully it'll event again and we can get a picture of it. All right, timer is almost up to 90 seconds. So when you test it, whenever you're testing for a Yuri, after you smudge them, you want to pay attention to see if they kind of get stuck in their ghost room. Okay, so that was right about 90 seconds for the hunt. I don't want to say that's a demon, like that it hunted under 90 seconds. I think my smudge timer is maybe just a tad late. But yeah, that goes to show you that it cannot be a spirit because it hunted under 3 minutes, and it's most likely not a demon because it didn't hunt like a lot sooner than oh Jesus, than 90 seconds. Also, another test for demons you can do if you're maybe out of smudges or you're unsure is demons are able to hunt every 20 seconds. So you could like time the time between the two hunts and see if it hunts you that often. But based off this current smudge timer, we can tell. Okay, sorry. I wanted to get that opportunity. So you see how he did not disappear when I took a picture? We know for sure that it is not a phantom. All right, so not a spirit. Most likely not a mare because it hasn't turned the light off. Although it did do a light breaking ghost event, so that is kind of confusing. But we're gonna knock it off because it hasn't turned this light off whenever we try to turn it on. So for poltergeist, a good way to do a poltergeist test. There's two ways you can do it. You can either build a pile of items in the ghost room and see if it explodes it, or you can like take it to somewhere that's loopable. Which actually I need to be careful. I need to be careful here because I don't have a smudge on me. Let me go grab another smudge. And then we'll set up to do how I like to do my poltergeist test, because this is a little bit quicker than sitting there and watching a pile to see if it explodes it. You can actually like take the ghost to a spot that you can loop and see how it throws things. Poltergeists are twice as likely to throw objects while they're hunting, so it's going to be very obvious. Like they are going to throw so many things, you're afraid for your life. Like you're afraid you're going to get decapitated by how many things that it's throwing. So I'm going to bring it out here so we can see how it throws things. And then we'll be able to roll off poltergeist. But also making a pile in its room and seeing it explodes, it can also be fun. So either or, but this is a much quicker way. I forgot where I put my flashlight for a second. Let's see, any other tests that we can do? Well, I mean, we know it's a djinn. Yeah, Yuri, we know it's a mimic because there's no orbs. A Yuri, you basically just want to sit in the ghost room and see if it like fully shuts the door, or if it's kind of roamy, but anytime you smudge it, it very exclusively stays in its room for 90 seconds. Those are the main tells of the Yuri. Which this ghost kind of has been acting like that. Honestly, Yuris are almost as close as to Gori no Bake as far as being difficult to figure out on no evidence. So don't get upset if you're like, I can't tell if it's a Yuri, Gori, or Bake, because Yuris do not like to do their abilities very often. And it sucks. Hopefully they eventually raise the likelihood of them shutting doors. But until that day, you just have to hope you see the door, Yuri shut a door, or that it's very obviously staying in its room after you smudge it. So yeah, we're just gonna wait for this thing to... It might be going through the crucifix. That might be why it's not hunting. Let me see if I can peep here and find the bone. I cannot. Darn. Alright, well, whenever you want to hunt, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, it's probably going through that crucifix back there. That's okay. We'll allow it. Yeah, sometimes it's kind of funny. I feel like a lot of times on Zero Sanity, Zero Evidence, the ghosts can be a lot chiller. Like, I'll just be sitting here waiting for them to hunt. And they just take their sweet time. So yeah, don't feel like this difficulty is like super scary, because, I mean, I'm just sitting here just waiting. Alright, so we're gonna bring the ghost out here and see how it throws these items. Okay, well, it's getting fast because it's a djinn and it got line of sight with me. So see how it's like hardly throwing anything, like I threw one thing? All ghosts are gonna throw things. Alright, I'm going smudge because I fear for my life. But it hardly threw anything. Like, it did not throw very much. Poltergeists will throw so many things whenever you're looping them. So poltergeists are pretty obvious whenever you do that. So we can roll out poltergeist. Okay, so want to wait for it to stop hunting. No, we could set another smudge timer, but we basically know that it's not a spirit or a demon, so pretty comfortable with that. Also, I hate that there's the sound of a door getting slammed, but no door actually got slammed. And then I think the only other ghost we really have to test for, because you already know it's a djinn, I'm not going to cross that out, is a banshee. And unfortunately on solo, you have to sit there with a paramic and see if you get a banshee scream. Another kind of sort of tell that you're going against a banshee is that it will roam to your location. So like, as we say that's the ghost room, right? If we're chilling over here in the nursery and all of a sudden it like comes over here and like is, you know, messing around this room. Okay, well that was a very bad example because sometimes ghosts can like interact through these walls. You're not being a good example for me right now, Mr. Djinn. But yeah, like on a bigger house, if you're like, say Bleasdale, if like all of a sudden it's downstairs when it's supposed to be in the attic, you can be like, wait, is it following me around? Is it a banshee? But yeah, otherwise, if you don't notice that, you're gonna have to sit in the ghost room, or like you don't even have to actually sit in the ghost room for this. You could sit in like a hiding spot and just point the paramic at the ghost room, so I could like sit in here and be safe. And just point the paramic at the ghost room and see if you hear a banshee scream. I mean, this can take forever. Sometimes it's boring. Sometimes I'm impatient and I don't even do it. I'm like, whatever. I don't know if this is banshee or not. So that is not a banshee scream, but we did get a response in the paramic. Typically I'll sit here and if I get like 3 to 5 responses that are not a banshee scream, I'll rule out banshee. But sadly on solo, this is the only way to fully confirm that it's a banshee. Now, if you're playing on multiplayer, you can do what we call a banshee test, which is you each take turns and see if the ghost goes for you. If the ghost targets more than one person during a hunt, with everybody being in the house, because you have to make sure everybody's in the house. If it targets more than one person during a hunt, like 2 separate hunts, I should say, then you can rule out banshee, because a banshee will only target one person during a hunt. So basically if you're playing with a full group, the 3 other teammates can just chase the ghost around. It's like it's kind of fun actually. But yeah, we could sit here for a while and try to listen on the paramic to hear a banshee scream. If you've never heard a banshee scream before, you can check out my ghost abilities guide. I do have a banshee scream in that video. Yeah, well, this ghost is just gonna hunt me. But we're gonna pretend like we got 3 to 5 paramic responses that were not a banshee scream, and we can rule out banshee. And we'll just wait for this guy to stop hunting. But yeah, this is what a normal ghost speed sounds like, by the way. You can sing, this is the rhythm of the night. And if the footsteps match up to the rhythm of that song, then you know it's a normal speedy ghost. Alright. Let's go ahead. I think I've done every test that we need to do. Yeah, we're gonna pretend like we got a bunch of paramic responses. We're not a banshee scream. Like I said, Yuri, Goryo no Bake, you really can't tell if it's a Goryo no Bake, unfortunately. There's no real tell on 0 sanity, 0 evidence, or really 0 evidence for that matter, which is unfortunate. Hopefully they change that. And like I said, Yuri, you're looking for a ghost to fully shut a door without there being a ghost event. Like you're just standing there and all of a sudden the door fully shuts in front of you. That only Yuri's can do that. Or if it seems to like stay in its room after you smudge it. And then Goryo Bake, you can't really tell, sadly, on 0 sanity, 0 evidence. But we do know that this ghost is a djinn because it sped up when it got line of sight with us. Multiple hunts. And we did check for orbs, so it's not a mimic. So yeah, we're going to go with djinn. Hop out and see if we are correct. Like I said, I do have a full guide on every ghost hidden ability if you aren't sure what every ghost hidden ability is. So I can link that in the description below if you want to study that. Otherwise, let's see. We're correct. It was a djinn. So yeah, that's how I go about doing most of my tests. We got pretty lucky and it was a very obvious ghost from the first time. But sometimes you have to do those other tests to see, hey, is it an Onryo? Is it a Wraith? Etc. So yeah, I hope that guide helped you. If you found it helpful, drop it a like. If you loved it, drop me a sub. Otherwise, good luck ghost hunting and I will see you in the next one.